It is definitely not an easy place to search, but after combing through the jungle for 10 days, absolutely nothing was found. This left investigators stumped, and no one really knew what had happened. But a little over 2 months later, Lisanne's backpack was found. It was reportedly found by a local woman pinned against a rock in a really fast-moving river. This was near the village of Alto Romero in the middle of the jungle, and this was not close to the trail where they last went hiking on at all. In fact, this was about a 14-hour hike from the top of the El Pianista Trail. Inside her backpack was 2 pairs of sunglasses, $88 in cash, Lisanne's insurance card, a water bottle, some of their clothes, Lisanne's camera, and both of their phones. And the worst part is that both of their phones were in good condition. This was finally a clue into what possibly happened to the girls, but after going through their phone records, what they found is so incredibly disturbing. From the day they started their hike to April 11th, which was 10 days after they went missing, the girls tried calling the police for help 77 times. Since they were in the middle of the jungle, they didn't have any reception, so only one of the calls went through, and that one dropped after only 2 seconds. Records show that about 6 hours into their hike, someone called 112, which is the international emergency number used in Panama, and 911. The first call was made on Kris's phone at 4:39 p.m., and about 10 minutes later, they tried calling for help again on Lisanne's phone. Like I said earlier, over a period of 10 days, they continued trying to call for help, but none of them ever went through due to having no signal. Why they tried calling for help is still a mystery, but it's assumed that one of them got hurt and they were trying to call for help after possibly getting lost. Lisanne's phone died on April 4th, 3 days after the girls went missing, and it was never used again. But what's really odd though is that between April 5th and 11th, Kris's phone was turned on and off a handful of times, probably trying to look for a signal. But during those times, a wrong PIN code was entered, so they weren't able to actually unlock the phone. If that was one of the girls doing that, no one knows. But it's really odd that the PIN was repeatedly entered wrong. On April 11th, Kris's phone was turned off for the last time at 11:56 a.m. What's really devastating to think about is the fact that while this was all happening and they were trying to call for help, there was an active search for them being conducted not just by police, but by their families in the same jungle, yet they were never found. If you think that was disturbing, wait until you see what they found on their camera. So the camera contained photos of the girls starting their hike, and the first few photos show them taking a trail at the overlook of the Continental Divide. This was the last photo ever taken of the two, and after that, photos show them walking deeper and deeper into the jungle, and this was just hours before that first initial 911 call. Nothing appeared too unusual at first until police stumbled across these. These were taken on April 8th, and these were some of the last photos that the girls ever took. 90 photos were taken to be exact in the dead of night between the hours of 1 and 4 a.m. They showed the girls' belongings spread out on some rocks, and it looked like they were possibly near a river. This is the image that truly does it for me though. It's the last photo ever taken on the camera, and it's of the back of Kris's head. Some say that it looks like she's bleeding in it, but I'm not entirely sure.